दिल्ली वालों गजब कर दिया आप लोगों ने.
The result of the Delhi Assembly elections were declared and the Aam Aadmi Party returned triumphant with 62 out of 70 seats. Arvind Kejriwal will take oath as the Chief Minister of Delhi on 16th of February 2020. The BJP managed to increase its tally from 3 in 2015 to 8 this time. To discuss this election in detail, I have been joined by my colleague and Business Standards political editor Aditi Phadnis. Welcome to the video, Aditi.
Thank you.
So Aditi, some people have called this the most bitter political campaign or election campaign in a long time. Thankful that it's ended now?
Well, I'm not sure if it's the most bitter nor the most divisive, but certainly it threatened to spill out of control at various times in the course of the campaign. What was missing was a sense of civility, a sense of decency, and short of threatening people to send them to Pakistan or forcing them to a position where they would choose to go to Pakistan, frankly the BJP did everything it could to make the discourse divisive. This campaign was taking place against the background of the I don't know what other word to use for it, the invasion of Jamia Library and the incidents in Shaheen Bagh. The highest court of the land has expressed its view verbally on what it thinks of pressing children and women into service in protests in the given climate in Delhi. But the protesters are now refusing to move, and that was an important element in the whole campaign process. So against this background, I think the result is even more astounding than it would have been normally.
While the Delhi government had focused, or the Aam Aadmi Party had focused on its achievements in the healthcare or education sectors, Shaheen Bagh became the central point of this election campaign. Was it just to polarize, or what do you think the BJP actually hoped to reap some other benefits out of this campaign or from this focus?
Well, I think at various levels there were a number of things which were evident. The BJP desperately wants to put its record straight on the CAA and other issues that the Shaheen Bagh protesters are protesting about. But it finally ended up calling upon those who were quote unquote inconvenienced by the protesters to come out and vote in the way that they felt they should vote. So maybe the BJP would have been better served criticizing the work of the Aam Aadmi Party, because the Aam Aadmi Party refused to get into any arguments on protest, Shaheen Bagh, CAA, any of those issues. They were a bit like Abhimanyu when he was counselled by Arjun when he was counselled by Krishna to keep his eye on the eye of the fish rather than get distracted by sundry other issues. After a long time of fighting many battles on many fronts, this time the Aam Aadmi Party showed enormous maturity and intelligence in keeping its eye on the ball and just on the ball. So I think that is a very important element that went into the elections.
Ever since the BJP came to power in 2014, at first it won state after state, but lately we've seen that it has been on a losing streak. It won the 2019 elections comfortably. It was a resounding victory for the BJP then, but now it has lost Maharashtra. It suffered a jolt in Haryana, but was able to form the government, and now it has again lost Delhi. Actually, it's the fifth straight loss for the BJP, sixth straight loss for the BJP in Delhi in assembly elections. What does it tell you about the BJP, the organization, which is not able to win states but is able to win the national election easily?
I think it tells us a little bit about the performance of the BJP governments in the states. In Maharashtra, for instance, it was unable to convince people, despite giving a relatively corruption-free regime, that that it was unable to convince people to vote for it in sufficient numbers for it to form a government on its own. So when Shiv Sena pulled out, it was kind of lost, limbless, and had to cede the government to Shiv Sena. Similarly, in Haryana, the elections took place along with the assembly elections, along with the Lok Sabha elections, but people voted differently in the Lok Sabha and differently in the assembly. Similarly, in Orissa, people voted differently in the Lok Sabha and differently in the assembly. So, the distillation of this, what it tells us, is not only that the people are now mature enough to differentiate between a state government and the central government, but also tend to vote differently and refocus issues differently for the state and assembly, which is why maybe the BJP would have been better served if it had criticized the Aam Aadmi Party on its performance and on its delivery, rather than assorted things about nationalism and things like that.
After its victory in 2015, when it won 67 out of 70 seats, Aam Aadmi Party was the talk of the town, and there was always this temptation to go national or to contest in other states. Do you think they would have learned the lessons now and maybe will focus only on Delhi, or would they be tempted to go out of this small city state and focus maybe on Punjab or Goa?
The temptation is still very, very strong, and sometimes you have to teach yourself to fight temptation rather than spreading itself thin. In my view, the Aam Aadmi Party would be better served putting down even deeper roots in local issues and local bodies. For instance, the Aam Aadmi Party will face the spectre of municipal local elections now. Why is it that the BJP was able to win the Lok Sabha election, was able to win the municipal election almost to the complete exclusion of the Aam Aadmi Party, but fared so badly in the assembly election? So I think the answer lies in the Aam Aadmi Party's appeal, but lack of reach in very local areas. It would be well served to deepen that reach in the municipal council.
In the Lok Sabha elections last year, the Congress party finished second in Delhi's 7 seats. The Aam Aadmi Party had been relegated to the 3rd place. What has the Aam Aadmi Party done since then to be able to regain its strength in the city-state and to be able to finally capture power with such a win?
It's very difficult to understand why, but today the Aam Aadmi Party is fighting with nobody, whereas it spent the first 2 years fighting with everybody. So maybe this is what appeals to people, that you hunker down, you work quietly, you don't attack unless you are attacked, in which case of course you hit back. But needlessly fighting and squabbling and quarreling and it may have been a strategy at some point, but to not adopt that strategy in the later part of its tenure seems to have been wise.
How do you think this election result play out on the national scene?
It's hard to say how it will play out on the national scene, but we have to look at what Aam Aadmi Party will now do next. Getting exalted ideas about it being a national alternative will be, in my view, a big mistake. But what it does next, education and health are kind of been there, done that. Now, what is the other big idea? I don't think delivery of rations from the ration shop to people's homes is, such a big event. So we have to see now what are the things, because Aam Aadmi Party has now enjoys an unparalleled connect with the people, and it, because of its campaign, it has come very closely to realize what it is that the people want. But let's not forget that with almost a 10% increase in its vote share, the BJP is not going to sit back and twiddle its thumbs. It may have got fewer seats, but its vote share has gone up substantially. And the Aam Aadmi Party's margin of victory has also shrunk very badly. Earlier in the last election, almost 7 or 8 seats were seats where the Aam Aadmi Party had won by a margin of over 65,000 votes. This time there's not a single one where it's won more than 50,000 votes, according to present results. So BJP is snapping at its heels, and it will be looking at points where Aam Aadmi Party can slip up. So in my view, the Aam Aadmi Party, the Delhi government, should not get distracted and should do its work in the same equanimity which it has done in the last 2 or 3 years.
Like you pointed out, the BJP has managed to increase its vote share substantially this election, even though it has not won many seats. Now, this election campaign also saw leaders of the BJP, its MPs, give statements which were clearly communally divisive, which were targeting a particular community. Do you think this will lead the BJP to draw the wrong kind of conclusions, because that kind of campaign might have helped it increase its vote share?
It may have increased its vote share, but it hasn't increased its seats. So, we have to see now what the BJP does with the increased vote share and how it views it. You could be right that it may press the BJP motivated to do more of this divisive kind of stuff. But on the other hand, it may also motivate the BJP to look internally and see that the reason it lost seats was because it had nothing to sell. It had no great ideas to sell in a local election, which Aam Aadmi Party clearly gained on. So it's possible that the BJP might get its thought trust together to deliver to the people something that is more than just rhetoric about nationalism.
Going ahead, we have a hiatus of a few months, and then we get into the hustle and bustle of the Bihar election. What can be the lessons that the Modi government could have drawn as to what it might do differently, maybe to do better in Bihar?
The thing is, no two elections are the same. Bihar has a totally different set of problems. It has a totally different view of things. And it has in Nitish Kumar a leader who has seen everything and who knows very intimately, because he's been a part of them, the loopholes in the opposition network. So I would not like to hazard a guess right now on how the BJP will tackle the Bihar election. But one thing is clear, that the BJP has already declared that if they come to power in Bihar, Nitish Kumar will be Chief Minister again. Now that will annoy many members of the BJP. It may even annoy some part of the electorate. But we have to see now. Last time the Nitish Kumar was not with them and they tried the nationalism plank. It didn't work at all in Bihar. So we have to see what they'll do now.
Thank you for joining us, Aditi.
Thank you.